And it's also now the Pembrokeshire Sport Update with our very own Mr. Bill Carne. Very good morning to you, Bill.
Good morning, Tom. Nice day again. People are lucky with the weather as long as it doesn't get too hot, isn't it?
Well, indeed. Apparently, those warm temperatures are coming today. So make sure
Oh,
that you
yeah.
stay hydrated.
Yes.
Is my tip for you today. The heat, has it been causing havoc with sport around Pembrokeshire, or the club's getting on
No,
okay at the
no,
moment?
no, I couldn't say that. There hasn't been a massive amount of cricket this week. Up until this week, there's been cup fixtures every week, but they're all now other than the Alec Collie Cup, which is a quarter-final stage. All the others are at semi-final or final stage. So, no, it's been a fairly quiet week with that. But I did watch a bit of cricket on Tuesday. Amazing result for the Pembroke County Cricket Club team. Fairly young. They give three debuts to Phil Coburn from St Ishmael, Scott Griffiths from Pembroke Dock, and Jack John from Neyland. And they had another teenager in Joe Phillips playing who turned out to be the star of the game. He bowled well. He came into bat as one of the last pair, with them needing 14 off the last over. And 19-year-old Joe blitzed two sixes, and Pembrokeshire won by one wicket. It was an epic win. And MCC, they're not on players who play professionally, but they're from all over South Wales. There was one from Derbyshire. Nice little story there. He used to play in Wiltshire, and he was coached to the Wiltshire schools team that Jack John played in until he came back to live with his family in Pembrokeshire. And they met up with each other as well, and Jack finished on the winning side. I spoke to Sean Hannon after. We're going to talk to him on Monday for the show, and we'll also talk with him then about one of the big games coming up on the weekend, which is, as you know, the DR Morris Cup final in Burton.
Yes, indeed. Exciting times for those for the cup games. We're coming to that stage of the season
Yeah.
where the cup matches are less frequent but more important.
Oh yeah, gosh, yeah. That final is played in memory of Dougie Morris, who was a great character, great sportsman. In his barn, he's a farmer. In his barn, he had a tennis table. So all the locals like Richard Ayman and Steve Jones, they were all tidy table tennis players as well as cricketers. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. And then just taking one step back, that Pembrokeshire cricket side, do you know much about the selection process for that?
Yeah, there's 4 or 5 selectors. What I'm pleased with, they asked how many players would like to be considered at the start of the season. There haven't been any games really this year, getting back after COVID. This was the big game, but they stayed true to the people who said they were available, and I think that's great. So well done to everyone concerned. Cracking day. Cresselli, great hosts. Dennis Chiffey did a good job on the pitch there. The Italian stallion, he did a marvellous job. So well done, Dan.
Oh, that's great. And I like that about staying true to selectors because you mentioned their Pembroke Dock, and of course, they're not necessarily doing the best that they could be in the league this season, although they're
No,
doing
they're
well in the
not.
cup.
No, no. And there are 2 boys playing there from the second division. That's great to see. Toby
Yeah.
Heyman from Burton was also playing there as well. So and as well as Scott Griffiths. So it's nice to see.
Yeah, you mentioned there's Sean Hannon as well, captain of Neyland Cricket Club, who, for the first time since I've been paying attention to cricket, aren't top of the league at the moment. They've been taken over, but of course we're hearing from him because of Dougie Morris. But who else are we hearing from on a Monday evening?
Well, we've got the chairman of Merlin's Bridge talking about their excitement at the moment. They're going to play football on a 4G pitch at Caerellion for the season instead of the racecourse where they've been for years. And there's great excitement because the Bridge are going home. They're going back to the field at Merlin's Bridge. The change rooms are sorted. They've got to get the pitch sorted now. And before long, they'll be back playing where they should be, Merlin's Bridge in Merlin's Bridge. So we got the chairman there, Jason Chapman. He's coming on to talk to us. We've got Brian Hawkins, who's the league secretary. Brian's had a period of illness. He's back now after Ian Baker did a good job for us, as you know. And he's going to be talking to Fraser. Pardon me. And we've got an interview that is a cricket exclusive, really, if I'm honest. But it's very sad and thought-provoking. We're going to be talking to a well-known cricket character. We let people find that out when they log on Monday. Who's talking about his unhappiness about the state of the game. I think it's fair to say that.
Yeah, and of course, just the other week you were talking with Arthur Brady, who also had his concerns about some aspects of cricket, which there seems to be this mismatch because the cricket is the most exciting that anyone has ever seen it with this no draw situation. It's win-lose. The league is the closest it's ever been at the moment, but there's a facet of the game which could do with a bit of extra input. Is that fair to say?
I think some. You're right, and I think some people have lost sight of the fact we're an amateur sport played to relax on the weekend. Winning is important, but it's not life or death. And I think in the end, some people don't look at their values for that. When I was a young fella, I went up to Lords on tour, guided tour around Lords, and through the long room, and there's a room there, like a sort of a library of stuff, and there's a framed picture, very very plain, by Lord White, who in 1931 wrote to the Times to say what a great game it was. And I can remember the words, "You do well to protect it, my friends, because it's free of anything sordid, anything nasty, and we must preserve it at all costs." Everyone ought to read that.
I think that's fantastic. And if you want to find out more about what we're talking about, tune into the Pure West Sports Show on Monday evening with Eaton, Evans and Morris. That's 7 o'clock every Monday evening, the Pure West Sports Show, to find out what all of those guests had to say when catching up with Bill and Fraser, respectively. And looking at this weekend, Bill, the biggest event I think Pembrokeshire has ever seen, or certainly North Pembrokeshire, is coming to our shores. Isn't that right?
Well, there is. Excuse me, there's a lot of sport going on tomorrow, but tomorrow afternoon, I think it's fair to say, is the wedding of the year in St. David's, when our correspondent, our friend Fraser Watson, and his lovely partner Keely Rose are getting married. They're actually getting married today, so we wish both of them a wonderful day. They fully deserve it. They've had to postpone it twice because of COVID, and they're getting wed, and then tomorrow is the sort of celebration of that. Gordon Thomas and I and our spouses, Dan and Marilyn, have been invited. Apparently, he's a pretty ropey DJ there. That's the only problem. I don't know who he is. Do you?
I think he's a new an up and comer. Something Tony Toby or something. I can't think.
Toby something. Yeah. So we wish them every success. It's going to be a lovely week weather-wise. Well, on Sunday then there's a barbecue, so there's going to be plenty of people there. I think there's only about 250 there tomorrow. And we'll see on Sunday. But apparently St. David's will flock there. Listen, he's a very popular guy and she's lovely. So praise Keely from all of us, our love.
Yeah, from everyone here at Pure West Radio, the Pure West Sports team and beyond, have a lovely wedding weekend and have a great time. And whilst the wedding's going on, are there also some sporting fixtures going on as well, Bill?
Yeah, there are. I mean, tonight Haverford are playing against Anasageron on the complex at Llandarcy. They played in midweek. Tom, good news, they beat Avon Lido 5-1. Away, Ben Fawcett, Ryan George 2, Jordan Davis and Henry Jones scored. There's a slight downside to it. I understand Kyle Patton, who's a very clever, very experienced and influential centre-back, I think got injured. I don't know how bad that is. We wish him well. And I say tonight is at Anasageron. And the last time they played there against the same team was in the Welsh League Cup semi-final. I went to watch that, and Haverford were hugely favourites for that. And again, at one stage, we're a team that, like Haverford cricket formed a football, and again did the same, and they went through into Welsh League football. It was 2-2. Haverford, the other players sent off, battled back. 1 minute ago, 5 minutes ago, their coach had to come on, heavily built fella, 40s. And I was talking to a fella from Anasageron, and he said he won't be able to walk. He'd be on a centre spot because he's not fit. Anyway, he picked the ball up about 30 yards out, and he didn't need to walk. He just looked up because he didn't fancy running and blitzed the ball. It flew to the top corner, and Haverford West lost 3-2. I won't tell you on a family show what Wayne Jones said to me after. But so that's tonight. And then I've been watching the golf all week, and of course there's big rugby tomorrow. Wales playing South Africa, England are in Australia, so they tell me, and Ireland are playing New Zealand, and Scotland playing in Argentina. It's unique, I think, Tom. All 4 home countries playing, all 4 final of 3 games, and all 4 are level. So it's all on tomorrow. So I'm certainly going to keep a weather eye on that when I'm allowed, because we're in Tiddewi or near Tiddewi. So there's excitement about those things, and of course the cricket locally.
Fantastic. And going back to the Bluebirds there, that reminds me of the magic of Division 5 in the Pembrokeshire League, Bill.
Yeah, isn't it? Tom, Division 5, I really believe from the bottom of my heart, we on Pembrokeshire Sport, we try to cover as well as we can the lower reaches of all the sports, because if you get to a final in Division 5, that's as important as a team getting into the Senior Cup or into Harrison Allen Bowl. That's why I love the Alan Brown Cup final in cricket and the Ken Morris Cup final. I think it's really nice to say that. Talking of finals, of course, is the Dougie Morris on Sunday at Oakfield Park, and that's a real underdog, David and Goliath clash, because Neyland are in that. It's their last chance of certain silverware. They're still on the edge of still got a chance in the cricket championship, but they're playing Pembroke, who are bottom of Division 2, and Pembroke really played well and beat third place Narberth, who are now top of the first division at Carew, and they've got some good players, and they'll be looking to upset the apple cart. I mean, Jack Harris is an influential captain, Luke Butler, Jonathan Rogers won that semi-final with Jack, and they've got Paul Chalky, White, Alan Webster. They've got some very good players. So I'm going to go along and watch that. I shouldn't say this, but the teas are very nice in Burton.
Amazing. Well, talking of a cup of tea, Bill, I'm going to leave you go off for your cup of tea, but not before. It's Feel Good Friday. You give me your song request for this Feel Good Friday on a Friday morning with Pem's Paving.
Of all the singers and groups that I liked in the 60s, the only one I haven't seen live, and I just missed out on him, was Bobby V. And he started off with Bobby V in the Crickets and then went solo. I love his singing. I've got all his records, so you're going to play Sharing You. And I'm glad I'm sharing you on Fridays. I quite enjoy that. Before we trot, Tom, can I just say... Yes. The ladies' cricket is continuing unabated, and it's lovely to see this week in Division 1, Hook beat Whitland at Whitland. Division 2, Kilgetty beat Neyland. Haverfordwest lost at Pembroke Dock, and a great win for St Ishmael's ladies. They've only started recently, and they beat Carew, so it was a great win there. Katie Chandler Hall and Jackie Cadogan as the good players for Carew. For St Ishmael's, Lucy Patterson and my old friend Lindsay Picton scored runs. So nice to see.
That is fantastic to see. Sport for everyone is what I say, Bill. And, as sharing you, Bill, on a Friday, it's for everyone here. Thank you so much for your time and your knowledge again. And should we do it again all next week?
I look forward to it. It's one of the highlights. There are not many people I'd get up at 6:30 for me, and you're one of them, right?
Thank you so much. Bobby V Sharing You is on the way after a little bit of traffic and travel here on Early Breakfast at 20 minutes past 7 on the 15th of July.
Feel Good Friday with Pem's Paving.